Well, there's Mr. Will. Wonder what he's got. There's got to be something good.
Maybe he got the big one he had on camera.
I hope so. He's been hunting for 2 months for that thing. Well, I see something hanging. All right. Looks like he's got something. All right. Yeah, there we go. All right. A nice one.
Let me see if I can get off without kicking. Oh, look at that. Let me put this rifle in the truck. Watch yourself. All hung up in my hat. What you think about this, John?
It looks pretty good, man. It's a big one.
Yes, sir. I tell you, I've been after him for I don't know, I've been after him since August the 15th.
Look at the antlers on it.
I know, right? This thing must have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 T-hinges in it, or cross hinges.
Whatever you want to call it. Got some
Velcro mosquito netting.
Got camouflage.
Camouflage. You know, I've been after him for a while, and I was hoping I'd get him by now. As like I said, I've had him on camera. Yep. It's been frustrating, man, dealing with the wind and the rain and then work. But by right. George, persistence pays off, and yes, I appreciate you being here.
Oh yeah,
I really enjoyed it. See if I can get a couple pictures with this thing. Get it open out here a little bit. Think about that. Got some good pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
All
I'm
right.
proud of it. I'm thinking about mounting it. I don't know. My wife probably won't let me.
Probably wouldn't let you hang that in the living room.
No, that'd probably take up the whole freaking wall. But anyway, I'm happy with it.
All right.
Persistence, baby, persistence. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the scene of the crime. The little, oh man, still hurts my heart to think about it. The little spoof we made to start this video kind of explains what happened. I was in the ground blind last night and made a severe rookie mistake. I wouldn't dare to say that the mistake was colossal. I got in the ground blind yesterday afternoon, I don't know, 4 o'clock, 3:40ish, 3:45ish, 1,600 hours. Got set up nice and comfortable in the ground blind. I'm in a nice comfortable office chair, and started relaxing, and I'm sitting here ready for the hunt. And down at that end, all the way at the end down there, I have a camera and a corn pile all the way down at the end. And down at the end, it's going to focus on my finger here, but all the way at the end, at the very end of this shooting lane here, let me get that focus. If you kick to the left, there's a trail we cut in there with the bush hog to kind of usher the deer in the way we want them to come into this food plot. They can come in however they want, of course, but you know, it's thick everywhere else, so we cut them a path, and they tend to use it. And so, you know, I don't know, about 5:30, you know, about 17:35 hours for the trade time there. I saw some movement down there, and it ended up being a really, really nice buck. Probably would have been my biggest, definitely my biggest on this property. I have been blessed to get invites to hunt up north, about 800 miles north of where I'm at now, and shot some nice bucks up there. But as far as where I'm at, this would have been a really nice deer. And he came out, and when he came out, he moved across, but he would take one step. He would take one step, and he would look at me, look right here at the blind, and then he would turn his head, and then he would snap back. He was trying to catch me moving. And so I watched him, and it took about 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe, and he would take a step forward, and then he would look at me. Then he would take a step forward, and then he'd look at me. Then he started getting spooky. Tail started moving. His head started jerking back and forth a little bit. Then, of course, the telltale sign, the nose went up, the tongue come out, you knew what was happening. He was tasting the air. He was getting spooky. And he took back off to the left there. Never had him broadside. I had him quartered to me for a few minutes, had him quartered away at this point. I followed him to the left. When he turned his head to walk off, that was my best chance. I picked up my rifle. I put my rifle on him, squared him up, followed him over. He took one last step, stopped. I squeezed off. And when I squeezed off, the ground blind that I'm in said, a little bit like that. Maybe not quite that much, but a little bit like that. And I looked over the scope just in time to see him lope off, bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah, and so I missed him. Yeah, at this point, my heart was broken. I got to the club last night. There was 7 of us signed in last night, and I brought a heavy piece of rope, and I was feeling good. I was feeling good about the weather. I was feeling good about the activity we had on camera. It's the 1st of October, which is rut for us down here. People were seeing deer. I was really feeling good. And I brought a piece of rope, and I told the guys, hey, I got the rope. I'm putting it on the DRV, the 4-wheeler. I'm putting it on there tonight because we're going to use it. We're going to drag some deer tonight. And I was feeling good about it. And so when I came in here and all that happened and I missed him, I was absolutely heartbroken. I didn't know what had happened. I don't claim to be the best shot in the world. But I can hold my own. I can shoot. And so I couldn't figure out what happened. And so I started looking, and this caught my attention. This pole is now without fabric. And so I said, oh Lord, I have made a massive rookie mistake. See, what I did was at this close distance, the scope is mounted on top of the rifle, and it's a fairly little decent, an inch or so on top of the barrel. And when I followed the deer over, the scope was still clearing the corner of the window here. Unfortunately, the barrel was not. And so, you guessed it, I killed the deer blind. I killed the blind. I blew the fabric right off and blew the blind all to pieces. Just enough at this distance. I don't know, that's probably 100 yards out there, 75, 80 yards, maybe, I don't know, 100 yards. We'll just say 100. At that distance, blowing through the ground blind like that was just enough to miss him. I think I missed him right over his back. Just a rookie mistake. I got so excited, I'm glad that I got excited. I'm glad that seeing a deer like that after all the work that we've done, oh, dropping my phone there. Still gets my heart rate up. Glad that happened. But it got my heart rate up, and after that long 20+ minute standoff, I had a chance to shoot, and I just wasn't thinking. So, saying that to say this, if you're into ground blind hunting, just, getting into using ground blinds, maybe getting a little older, maybe if you're hunting a lot by yourself and you don't want to be up on the side of a tree, ground blind hunting is absolutely a productive way to go. You just set it up, brush it in, give them time to get used to it. I showed a video of this blind on a previous video. I showed a screenshot of it, and we brushed it in, and then the leaves fell off the brushes, gradually exposing some of the blind. But the deer were okay with it. We did it right, and been productive out of this blind. There's already been 1 buck taken from this blind this season. So just made a rookie mistake. So, make sure when you set these things up that you know where you're shooting and you know where your barrel's at, so that you don't miss your buck and kill your ground blind. Yep. Might gonna need a little bit of salt and pepper with that one. Oh man. One of the worst things about missing this thing yesterday was I'd made such a big deal. I told you I made such a big deal about how I thought we were going to be productive yesterday. So when I squeezed off and everybody on the club heard me shoot, and everybody knew where I was, you know, the text messages started coming. Hey, was that you? Do we have a deer down? And of course I had to respond was, you know, no, you know, I messed up. I'm a, you know, made a mistake. You know, I'm a bozo, kind of thing. And so the guys, they riled me up a little bit. You know, they put out a message this morning, actually with, you know, keeping up a quota on how many deer we've taken so far this season. And of course, it said X amount of deer and one ground blind. So I appreciate that. Some camaraderie down here, you know. I enjoy it because I give it as much as I get it. So, you know, it was funny. Just one of those things you have to deal with, you know, live and learn. So just making sure, just to reiterate, you know, if you're into hunting ground blinds, make sure that your shooting window is clear. Make sure that your barrel is clear. Otherwise, again, you know, there you go. A little bit of salt, pepper, and gravy. Eat your ground blind there. All right, let's go do something else.